June 10, 2019. Tonight, we have the honor of being led in the pledge by Chase Brindle. Chase is 10 years old and he's going into 5th grade at St. Isaac Joe's. His favorite subjects are math and science. He participates in TinkerWorks, where they study robotics, technology with hands-on activities. His sports that he enjoys are travel soccer and travel golf. He's attending summer golf camp and participates in the PGA Juniors. He aspires to attend MIT and someday work for NASA. His mom, Christina, is here. His dad is Bradford. He has a younger brother, Henry, who's here also. And they did not bring their 2 dogs, Howard or Walter. This summer, he plans to vacation with the family in Charleston, North Carolina, and Carmel, California, where they're having the USPGA, right? Probably going to pick up some golf. And he's going to go to Yosemite. So, Chase, come on up and lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Francis.
Here.
Trustee Schiappa.
Here.
Trustee Babeza.
Here.
Trustee Snyder. Trustee Matal. Here. Trustee Mata.
Here.
Mayor Grasso.
Here. Trustee Snyder did call me prior to the meeting and to inform me that he's involved in a charity event, which has been a very special thing for him for many years. It happens to fall this evening, and he felt that his dedication to that charity event took priority over tonight. I agreed with him after he explained it to me, and so that's why he's not here tonight. He's doing good things in another venue. We have a presentation tonight. I've learned that we have somebody that's been with the Village of Burr Ridge for 35 years. We're going to have Dave Pressig give us some more information.
Yep. Thank you, Mayor. We're here tonight in honor of John Warnemont as part of this presentation. Little known fact about John is that even though we're celebrating 35 years, 2 years prior to that, he started with the village as a part-time summer seasonal employee and stayed with it for about 8 months. Left but came back under Howard Heil in June 11th, 1984, 35 years ago tomorrow. He started as a full-time mechanic. Back then in 1984, John was 22, and by all accounts, he hasn't changed a bit from what I hear. He was one of only 3 full-time employees in the Public Works Department, small at the time, but large now. That's back when Public Works was just moving into Rustic Acres from a couple of sheds over on Drew Avenue just to the west. But also back in 1984, the village didn't have Lake Michigan water yet. We didn't have this village hall yet. We certainly didn't have Steve Stricker yet. So that was a while back. But over those past 35 years, John has ordered, installed, repaired, maintained just about anything and everything at Public Works. So it's that experience along with his dedication and that kind of genial personality that he has that's made him one of the most highly trusted and respected employees in our department, but also in the village staff generally. So much so that in 2013, he was certainly the choice for the operations supervisor of the Public Works Department, which title he still has today. We really have John to thank for our snow fighting operations. It's through even some record-setting snow seasons that he's had. And he keeps the plow trucks operating, watching the weather forecast day and night, overnight sometimes. He gets the plows and the crews on the road at the right time, and he stays with it to the end until the roads are cleared and clean and safe. Little known about John, in 2005, he was our Public Works Department in-house snowplow rodeo competition winner, which he took to become the compete in Villa Park at the time, a Northeast Illinois regional competition, and was in the top 25% of all plow jockeys competing up there. So John's work ethic is really unmatched. he goes really the extra mile with the residents and businesses, offers his support and working with the Park District at Harvest Fest so many years in a row. That work ethic has been contagious. Through his tutelage, John has done and tutored and trained numerous part-time, seasonal, full-time public works employees. I think I counted at least 7 of which are still with us today, one of which is now the arborist and municipal land and forestry supervisor, Nick, who's with us now. But really, in summary, John has been and remains to this day one of the most dedicated employees. On behalf of the 3 previous public works directors under which he worked, we sincerely appreciate and we're grateful for his personality, his loyalty, and his commitment to this village. And Mayor and Board, it's my honor to present to you John Warnemont, Operations Supervisor.
Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dave, Mayor Grassel, Board of Trustees, staff, everybody here, my mom, family, friends. It's with great joy I stand before you tonight. It's hard to believe 35 years have eluded me so quick. It seems like almost yesterday in a lot of ways that I started here at the village. A little bit younger. I hope hopefully a lot wiser now, but it has been an absolute joy. I can remember starting over meeting Howard Heil, my hiring boss, back in '82 when I started, as Dave mentioned. In my started part-time, meeting him over there at 220 West 75th Street. Someone seated with the trustees tonight, I think, remember that pretty well. Love you, Karen. But yeah, Howard, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Jim Connors was the seated village manager at the time. Bud Coglanese, of course, was mayor. And we were starting off at Rustic Acres at that time, and they were sprucing it up. There was a lot of going on there with getting that place ready for the Public Works Department. That was really our first legitimate Public Works facility. As Dave mentioned, we were just renting out a place on Drew Avenue, south of 91st Street, from one of the residents over there. So we really were moving up there, and it was just the 3 of us. 3 of us men working with Howard to begin the journey of these 35 years. So it's, as I mentioned, it's with great joy. I thank everybody, the past staff, Shirley for many, many years as a police department worker here, and now with us at Public Works. We thank her. Nick, thank you for coming. It's just with great joy I stand before you. I thank the Lord Jesus for all that he's done for me through this time. It's through him that I feel I know I have found his grace, and it's really amazing to see as the years have gone by that I have delightfully worked in doing many, many things that I really thoroughly enjoy doing. And a big part of that is serving the public and trying to make a difference here each day, working with the staff. So Chief Madden, thank you. How's the heat, the cold feeling over there? It's an inside joke, Thank you for your support, encouragement. Again, I just thank you all for the time and the words tonight, and thanks again. God bless you all.
Well, John, we want you to know, first on behalf of the village, residents, the board, and myself, thank you for all of your service to Burr Ridge. We are in awe of your dedication to this village, and you are one of the reasons We call this village a very special place. We will have to put it on the agenda for the next time that we meet, but I want to read to you a resolution that will, I'm sure, be passed at that next board meeting. It is a resolution recognizing 35 years of service to the village of Burr Ridge Public Works Operations Supervisor John Wernamount. Whereas John Wernamount will, on June 11, 2019, mark his 35th year of employment with the village of Burr Ridge. And whereas John Wernamount has maintained the village's fleet, streets, and buildings with pride and exemplary moral character. And whereas John Wernamount has dedicated and sacrificed countless hours, nights, and weekends to ensuring the safe and efficient operation of the village's infrastructure. And whereas John Wernamount has provided this dedicated and exceptional service to the village residents, businesses, and community at large over the past 35 years. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Mayor and Board of Trustees of the Village of Burr Ridge, Cook and DuPage Counties, Illinois, that John Wernamount shall hold a place of esteem in the minds and hearts of the residents, businesses, and employees of the village, and has offered our sincere congratulations on the completion of 35 years of service. Thank you. Okay, that takes us to the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda, discussed by the board, open for public comment, and voted upon during this meeting. 5A minutes, approval of regular board meeting of May 28, 2019. 6, ordinances B, approval of ordinance authorizing the disposal of personal property owned by the village of Burr Ridge, miscellaneous vehicles. 7, resolutions. B, adoption of a resolution authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental police service assistance agreement to join the DuPage Metropolitan Emergency Response and Investigation Team, also known as MERIT. And C, adoption of a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement with the village of Willowbrook for the Garfield Avenue Sidewalk Project. Under considerations, 8C, approval of recommendation to purchase a police department copier for the IT Savvy, IT Savvy of Addison, Illinois, in the amount of $5,695. D, approval of the mayor's request for reimbursement for attendance at the Illinois Municipal League Conference this fall. I don't know what the amount is, but it should be in here. I'll find it for you. And E, approval of the vendor list dated June 10, 2019, in the amount of $91,227.06 for all funds, plus $201,147.18 for payroll, for a grand total of $292,374.24, which includes special expenditures of $23,125 for planning and development services by Sports Facilities Advisory. How much is that number? Oh, so for item 8D, the reimbursement for the attendance at IML conference in the fall will be $310. Can I have a motion to approve the following items on the consent agenda? 5A, 6B, 7B and C, 8C, D, and E.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Skiappa.
Yes.
Trustee McCall.
Yes.
Trustee Model.
Yes.
Trustee Francis.
Yes.
Trustee Pavesa.
Yes.
5-0.
5-0, that motion passes. That takes us to ordinances. 6A, approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Article 1 of the Burr Ridge Municipal Code regarding title of Mayor, Village President, and appointment of President Pro Tem and chain of succession. This matter was on for consideration the last time. I believe you have had the opportunity to review it. So first of all, can we get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Model?
Yes.
Trustee Skiappa?
Yes.
Trustee Francis?
Yes.
Trustee Pavesa?
Yes.
Trustee Matal?
Yes.
5-0, the motion passes. And for the record, I did speak with Trustee Snyder about this. He would have made this 6-0 based on my discussions with him. I would have held this if he had any consideration or discussion that he wanted to have about this, but he told me he did not. Now, 7, resolutions. 7A is adoption of resolution appointing trustee Al Pavesa as president pro tem for a 2-year term expiring May 10, 2021. I would like this to be passed until, continued, I should say, to the next meeting of this board. I believe there is some discussion that Mr. Snyder wanted to engage in, and as it is my custom, that if a trustee legitimately cannot be at a meeting and wants to discuss an item, I will normally allow that to happen. There is no rush for this. I will just tell you that I believe that you should give deep consideration to Al being the Mayor Pro Tem. Al has 24 years of experience as a trustee. He has served as the Mayor Pro Tem for at least, from time to time, 18 years, I believe. He certainly knows this village as well as anyone. The next leading board member is Guy Francis, who's been here since the early part of 2013, which would give him 6 years. Of course, that doesn't count Guy's 20 years on the
16 years.
16 years on the Plan Commission, so Guy Francis also has a long history with this village. With due respect to the others, you have a little less tenure, and that includes Mr. Snyder, and so it would be my preference to have Al as the Mayor Pro Tem. He's asked only to be Mayor Pro Tem for the 2-year period that he would be eligible for, and that would be till 2021. And thereafter, although he would still be on the board, he wouldn't seek to be reappointed after that time. Yes, Guy?
Make a motion that we table this till the next board meeting.
Second.
And there's no need for discussion of that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you. That takes us to consideration, our ongoing topic of the update regarding stereogenics in Willowbrook, Illinois.
Yes, I'll handle that.
Yeah, right. Evan, by the way, Evan Walter is on paternity leave. And so that's why he's not here tonight. Thank you.
So the United States Environmental Protection Agency held its public meeting on May 29th. We had advertised that to the public. It was held here at the Burr Ridge Marriott. Attending on behalf of the village were Mayor Grasso and Trustees Schiappa and Francis, as well as myself and Assistant Administrator Walter, Deputy Chief Loftus, and several members of the Environmental Quality Commission were in attendance, as well as many residents of the village. Although the information provided at the EPA meeting was quite unsatisfactory to, I think it's safe to say, everyone locally, I did receive numerous comments from residents appreciating what the Village of Burr Ridge is doing, what our Environmental Quality Commission has done, and Mayor Grasso and the trustees have done recently and in the past regarding stereogenics, and they were appreciative of the meeting being in Burr Ridge to make it accessible for Burr Ridge residents. Senate Bill 1852, which is considered the strictest legislation in the country on ethylene oxide, has been approved by the Illinois General Assembly. It currently sits on the governor's desk, where we are told that the governor intends to sign that legislation. that would severely limit the use of ethylene oxide in the state of Illinois. According to, as I said, according to the village's environmental lobbyist, the governor intends to sign the legislation at the earliest available opportunity. I've also been told, as has Evan by several sources, that the village's lobbyist was key and instrumental in getting this legislation done. So it was very well spent money on behalf of the village. As expected, Sterigenics has filed motions objecting to the intervention of Willowbrook Dairy in Hinsdale and Burr Ridge. I won't go into the logistics behind that, but I'm told that was expected. The Illinois Attorney General and the DuPage State's Attorney have filed their First Amendment to the initial complaint, which is scheduled for a court date of July 18th in Wheaton. And I believe that covers everything I have to report at this time. As always, anything new comes up, as it comes up, we'll post it on our website and get that information out in our weekly Friday memo.
Thanks, Doug, and I'll add to that it was a well-attended meeting. I was proud to have it in Burr Ridge. Mayor Trilla and I have asked the EPA, the US EPA, to hold its hearings on regulation of ethylene oxide here in the village of Burr Ridge or the village of Willowbrook, since we are the affected villages. Of course, it was stunning to us that there was an admission that there has been an excessive concentration of ETO for well over 10 years and well over 10 times the amount that's acceptable. It begs the question as to why it took the EPA until 2016 to recognize the dangers of ETO, the significant increased dangers of ETO, and why it's taken so far 3 more years to have any regulation passed. Understanding that government works slowly, this is unacceptable. As I've often said, and others have often said, the primary purpose of government is to protect the public's safety and health. And why it takes the EPA, having recognized tremendous failure on this issue, and showing what it's come to learn by 2016, not acting until now is just inexcusable, and we will keep the pedal to the metal, so to speak, and keep this in the forefront. I thank, again, the Environmental Quality Commission and Trustee Francis's leadership and the members of that commission that attended the conference, Trustee Schiappa and others that were also there. And please look at the reports because there's a lot of information there, none of which is reassuring to the public, but we are trying to make it better. Anybody else? Yes, Guy.
Comparing the attendance at this last public forum to the attendance at the previous one in November, I thought the attendance was down. I may attribute that, I'm guessing that it was because the seal order was issued February 15th. And some of the public may be thinking that they're closed down permanently. And that may not be the case. There may be a settlement. There's rumors of possible settlement negotiations between Sterigenics and the Illinois EPA. And I guess what I'm saying is that we can't give up the fight. We have to keep fighting, keep writing our congressmen and women, our state legislators, our governor, letting them know that we can't allow this facility to reopen because there's just no safe amount of ethylene oxide that can be emitted to the residents.
Right. And I think there's also live streaming, which may have also been a reason why people didn't show up. And I will tell you that those who came mostly stayed, and it was over 4 hours, 6 p.m. to past 10 p.m. And that was in addition to what was going on that afternoon with all the exhibits and all the information. So the public is engaged, and the public has sent the message that it will stay engaged. Anyone else? Okay. That takes us to 8B, under considerations. Consideration of Mayor Grasso's appointment of the Storino, Romello, and Durkin law firm as village attorney and prosecutor. I think you have the information in your packet. This would occur if the board so approves, effective July 1. Mr. Storino and Mr. Durkin, who would likely be the regular village attorney at meetings that we request him to be at, will be here at a meeting in July 8th, for you to ask any further questions. Their letter proposing their rates, which is more than competitive, in my opinion, is in your packet. They are certainly highly qualified. They are also the attorneys for Willowbrook, Rosemont, many other municipalities, and they have a long and storied history of being municipal attorneys. So I ask for a motion to approve the appointment of Storino, Romello, and Durkin as village attorney and prosecutor.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Skiappa?
Yes.
Trustee Matal?
Yes.
Trustee Model?
Yes.
Trustee Francis?
Yes.
Trustee Cabeza?
Yes.
Mayor Dino?
5-0, the motion passes. That takes us to 9, public comment. Is there any public comment from anyone, resident, non-resident, property owner, business owner? Jeez, I'm doing that good a job. Now let's go to 9, reports and communications from village officials. Are there any reports or communications from village officials? Let me make a comment about reports and communications from village officials. What this is not about is about any village official or trustee or the mayor reading letters, giving speeches, putting forth a personal agenda that has nothing to do with village business. To the extent that it's happened in the past, I apologize. It will not happen any further. Reports and communications from village officials is just that, nothing more. I have a few other things. The car show was yesterday. It was well attended. By the end of the day, however, many of the people had left before the prizes were given out. So we were left with a few prizes that were not given out. But the weather held out. Maybe it wasn't as well attended, maybe in the past. I don't know, Guy, what was your perspective on it?
A little bit down. The threat of rain scared a few cars away and a few spectators.
Yeah.
But it still was well attended, I thought.
I know Trustee Matal was there.
It was
I
very nice.
missed you
Yeah,
missed me,
I-
but I met your husband.
Right, I was there at 10:30 and everyone looked nice and clean and shiny and looked nice. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. Run the Ridge also happened the week before. I think that was well attended. I got to start the race, and there were lots of booths out, and lots of our local community businesses were there, including well, I shouldn't name any in particular, but many of our local businesses were in attendance, and I think that's another great event that continues to grow over the years. I will be passing out some new committee assignments for your consideration and suggestions by the next time we meet. I'm making and recommending many changes on the committees and those that are members of the committee. I will particularly note to you that I've seen some people added to committees that have what I can perceive as zero connection with the village of Burr Ridge. They have neither a residence, a business, or property in the village, and I think that's highly inappropriate to put anyone on such a committee, and I'll be recommending those individuals be removed from those committees. There is a scammer seminar that am I stealing your thunder?
I was going to raise my hand.
All right, raise your hand and stand up, please.
I just wanted to get one last word out. We're going to host our scam seminar on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. at the police station. And it was well attended. We've done this twice so far. And it seems every year there's new scams. We've all been, I've gotten a call from the IRS. There's a lot of warrants out for me. And So the detectives doing a great job, and they've updated it, and we've had some good attendance the last couple of years, so I hope it turns out the same.
Right.
And I encourage everybody to come. It's at the police department, 6:30 PM on Wednesday.
Right, and I think people have to understand that what's particularly despicable about these people is that they often pick on the elderly and the infirm. And they have no heart other than to wipe them out of everything they've earned in their lifetime. And so we have to have the diligence to make sure those you love who may be getting up in age, watch their mailboxes, watch their check signing abilities, watch who they speak to, or not watch, but listen to who they get calls from. Because I know we have had personal experience with my family members where they've almost been scammed. And these people are counting on the old and the infirm to get their money, and they need to be stopped. For my mind, there should be long prison terms for anybody caught trying to defraud people of their life savings. I'm told by staff that there will be very little to meet for June 24th. Before I was elected mayor, we gave a family vacation to all of our children, and so Janet and I will be taking all the family out of state for the week of June 23rd to June 30th. And so since there is no mayor pro tem yet, and we have a very small agenda, I am not going to have a meeting before June 24th. And so then we will then meet July 8th. There isn't much other business to be done tonight. Yes, Al?
Just one more thing, I just want to remind people the concerts are starting, so Friday evenings at the Village Center, concerts.
Okay, I think there might be a couple more things I want to make an announcement for so the first one's this Friday, Al, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then every Friday thereafter, the first one is the Blues
Brothers.
right? Sounds like a fun night. I also want to tell the public that due to technical difficulties, the May 28th, 2019 meeting was not broadcast. It was on Channel 6 due to storm weather. The storms that came through the area on Memorial Day weekend damaged some of our equipment to the extent that we were unable to use the video cameras in the board meeting. Thanks to Janet Kowal and our deputy chief, I believe, we were able to film all the important parts of it, including the singing of Jim Peter and I Am a Tiger, which you should all watch if you haven't yet. A full audio recording of the meeting was posted on our website, and you can see it. Please accept my apology and the staff's apology for what happened, and we are making every effort to make sure it doesn't happen again. Are there any other reports or communications? If not, I'd like a motion to adjourn the meeting of the board until July 8, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?